The devastated healthcare system in the south is also on the brink of collapse. Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis is facing fuel shortages and is at risk of shutting down. Gaza's health ministry says fuel stocks are running out, which will result in the remaining healthcare facilities ceasing to function. The health ministry added that this fuel shortage will endanger the lives of patients. Al Jazeera's Tareq Azzoum is live for us in Deir el-Balah in central Gaza. Tareq, we'll talk about the fuel shortages in just a moment. Before we get to that, tell us the latest that you are tracking across the Gaza Strip.
Yes, there has been a very clear intensification of airstrikes since the early hours of this morning. In fact, Sarah, what we saw in the past few hours was incredibly very devastating, especially in Gaza City, which has been the epicenter of military attacks, especially in areas that were completely densely populated with civilians. One of the latest barrage of attacks targeted a group of civilians close to one of the central amusement parks in Gaza City, killing at least 5 people, including one woman of that strike. We understand also that another residential tower has been flattened by the Israeli military, but eyewitnesses have told us that the Israeli army has knocked the roof of that tower building with a drone missile, just as a sort of a slight warning for civilians to evacuate the area. And they have told us that it had been leveled to the ground in one of the latest attacks there. But also one of the confirmed reports that we got from eyewitnesses in Gaza City suggests the injury of 4 telecommunication workers who were working on maintaining internet landlines in Gaza City as a part of the work. And usually these companies cooperate with the Israeli military and provide them with the prior information about their position and even the routes that they will take in order to do such maintenance. So apparently since dawn today, as we have been told by medical officials, that at least 44 Palestinians were killed across the Gaza Strip amid no let-up military operations, as we understand, in the north of the Strip, where vast majority of border towns and villages have been wiped off the map as they have turned to be dust-covered ghost towns that are no longer inhabitable.
Tareq, Nasser Hospital, which is in the southern part of the Gaza Strip, said earlier today that they would have to shut down around 5 p.m. local, which is now, due to a lack of fuel. What do you know?
Well, what we have been really getting from Gaza's health ministry, that they managed to receive a very limited amount of fuel during the past few hours, which will be only enough for 1 day for operations across all hospitals that are barely functional in the central areas and also in the south of the Strip. But we understand that earlier today they were forced to shut down all sorts of non-critical medical departments, and they concentrated to keep providing electricity only for the intensive care unit due to the very chronic shortage of fuel. And all hospitals across the Strip are depending basically on fuel due to the reality that the main electricity supply line from the main grid is no longer exist, and they have been using generators that supply critical medical departments and even machines and equipment such as ventilators, dialysis machines and operating rooms with enough electricity to guarantee that these medical operations will continue to be provided for thousands of Palestinians across Gaza. And that is a part of the very remarkable and escalating challenges that medical sector has been going through: the lack of medical staff, the lack of medical supplies, and now the chronic shortage of fuel supply. So they have been calling the international community and the WHO to provide them with more amounts of fuel in order to continue their operations on the ground. But what has been given to the entire hospitals across Gaza could be barely enough for a very limited time. The later the crisis will return to escalate again, potentially with more momentum.
Tareq Azzoum reporting live from Deir el-Balah inside the Gaza Strip. Tareq, thank you very much for that.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.